I killed my wife. And what does it profit a man to win the whole world and lose his own soul? How I wish I had understood the depths of these words a few years ago. I met Lizzie during a rather complicated time in my life, and she was a great support to me. We got married a few months later because we didn't want to wait any longer, convinced that we were made for each other and certain that we wanted to grow old together. At the time, I was running a small shop in our neighborhood and Lizzie was a waitress in a bar, the only one there. It wasn't much, but it paid our bills and gave us enough to eat. Lizzie was a happy woman and always put a smile on my face when things were going badly. She never complained, and this both reassured and intrigued me. I was convinced that she deserved much more. She hardly ever took part in the fun sessions with her friends, anxious to control our expenses. A rare gem she was. Everything was going well until this man walked into my shop. After a tour of the shelves with an inquisitive eye, he said to me, "My son, I really appreciate what you have done with this place. The previous manager was a bit too careless and rebellious. I hope this will not be the case for you." I didn't quite understand what that meant, but I just smiled and said, "Sir, I am glad that you like it, but tell me, what can I do for you?" He looked at me and with a disappointed look at my answer, shook his head and said, "You should rather ask me what I can offer you. However, I understand that you are new to the neighborhood and it is obvious that you don't know me yet." He touched his beard with his hand to think for a moment and resumed, "Well, I don't like to beat behind the bush, and the sooner we get it over, the better. You see, I have an offer for you. I am the head of a fairly large marketing network in this country, and I would like to market my products in your shop in exchange for a large percentage of profits. You will make a lot of money with this." "I see. But what is this about?" I said. He answered with a wide smile. "They are just cereal bars, Snorties." He explained that he would deliver boxes of them to me and that another supplier would collect them for distribution. So I accepted without hesitation, thanking God for this great opportunity. Things were about to get better. When I asked him for his name, he told me that he was called Mr. Z everywhere and that was enough. Seriously, I didn't care. I was too busy thinking of all the nice things I could give Lizzie. When I told Lizzie the news, she jumped for joy, but her happiness was for a short period. She confided in me that she really didn't believe in such a sudden deal without any form of process and had reservations about it. "Mike, please be careful," she said, but I reassured her by giving her a hug. Business started to be very good after the first delivery. Our lifestyle changed in just a few weeks. One day, just out of curiosity, I wanted to know what these Snorties tasted like, so I decided to take one. The taste seemed extremely strange to me. I had never consumed anything like it. I decided to find out more about monitoring the roads of the passers closely, which led me to some warehouses and to some dirty alleys. And what I discovered stopped me in my tracks. The Snorties were in fact a drug that Master Z had taken time to disguise in order to ease its circulation, and of course his consumers were aware of this. Not knowing what to do, I decided not to tell Lizzie and to keep it a secret. As time went on, I told myself that it didn't really matter as I was just one way for them and that they would certainly find others if I wanted to withdraw. I even started to steal a bar or two from time to time to sell them myself. I thought I was smart enough not to have been caught, but soon the breaches were reported and I received warnings from Mr. Z. I ignored them, but I was not going to get caught. Amazed at the profit I was making. One day I was in the garage when I heard a gunshot in the living room, and when I got inside I found Lizzie lying in her blood while outside a motorbike was driving away. My heart broke into pieces, and then I discovered my shop had burned down in fire. I was completely lost and helpless in the face of disaster. I ran away, taking with me the remains of Snorties. that I had. Instead of selling them, I consumed them hoping to forget everything. I had no control of myself. Everything was black around me. I don't know how many days I had spent in the street. An old lady took me in and tried to put me back on my feet. "Why are you being so nice to me?" I said. "You do not even know me." After a short silence, she said, "If anyone who has the goods of this world sees his brother in need and closes his heart to him, how can the love of God abide in him?" Zechariah chapter 7 from verse 9 to 10. I felt the weight in my chest as I listened to these words. The Bible, God, sin, and she talks to me about love. She continued, "It's true that I do not know you. Maybe I'm taking a huge risk by welcoming you into my home. But I know that we all need love. This is the commandment left to us by Jesus, and I am sure that it will be the remedy for your wounds. I deserve much worse, madam, believe me," I told her. "And my love has been deadly. My love for money, of ease, I killed my wife." "I am not talking about that love," she continued, "but about the love that can restore and cleanse you. I am talking about God's love, a perfect love that forgives everything. My son, I know we all make mistakes. No one is perfect. But this should not be the reason for our downfall, because someone has already suffered and borne all our sorrows on the cross. He does not judge you, but welcomes you with open arms. Please accept to surrender your burden to him." The old woman took me in her arms, and I was overwhelmed by a flood of tears. I felt, despite my condition, that I had value, and I was loved, and that I had a chance to change everything. Tired of suffering, I agreed to follow Jesus and to make him known to other people, mainly to those who were part of Mr. Z's network, in order to save them in my turn. I am now an evangelist, and preaching the word of God is more than a passion to me. It is life for me.